Hey guys, Moneyman300 back for some more Forza 5. Continuing on with our tracks and cars in D class, and actually going to do a second car for Alps Club here. I had this Miata way back when, was in the top 50. It's since dropped way down, somewhere below that. But anyway, I wanted to retool that, so I got in, kind of tuned it back up, applied some of the things that I've learned over the year, and give it another run, and it turns out it's pretty good here. It's not quite going to be as good as the CRX, but it's real close, and it's very competitive, and it's just a fun car to drive. So I'm going to do that. I'll give you a look here. We'll do this live on the track. I just ran my I don't know, just a couple of laps here just to get tires warmed up and ready to go here. So let's hit resume, and I'll talk you through the lap a little bit here. So I'm going to run it to 5 speed, so got it pretty well tuned to the top of that. Just a little behind on that turn. Should come out of here in decent shape though. You're gonna see speed-wise these cars are real close. The Miata might be just a touch faster. The Civic's just more consistent and handles a little bit better. And you can see speed-wise it's actually super close. Oh, I just spun the tire just a touch there. It's a little, this car might be a little touchier than that one. Tuck it in there nicely. So we're staying right on it, and that's a top 100 time. So I lost a little bit there. Just takes the corners just a touch better than I can with this one. I don't know if I can make that time up or not. Probably not. We'll see if we get a good last turn here. I'm gonna hit the wall. Gah! We'll give it one more. The problem is you can't. I don't know if you know this track, but if you hit the wall right there, it does not allow you to continue. So let's back this up here real quick. It dirties the next lap, which is annoying. It's not like I was trying to cheat coming off of that one. I'll just slow it down a little more coming into this so I can make this one here. I would like to have been able to carry a little bit more speed into that. I haven't quite got the turn-in point perfect on that one yet. But you can see, if I hit a normal one, still running a pretty decent time there. Carry some better speed out there. Oh, I bumped it. Oh, we dirtied it. Well, we'll finish the lap out. I was trying to carry more speed out of that and actually put myself in almost a worse position. Got on the gas just a touch too early. That's alright. Like I said, you're going to run 5th gear. Should wrap it pretty much all the way to the top of 5th gear at the bottom of the hill here, which is just about perfect. It was fast coming out of there, but I carried a little too much speed out of there. Caused me to have to slow down just too much. It's got me off on all of this in the bottom part of the track. Ooh, look out. Ooh, just a little rub there. Not a great lap by any means, but it's still sort of hanging in there. Ooh, that kind of just took off on me there. That was weird. You want to be able to carry about 98, 99 through there, and you can see I'm down in the 94 range, which isn't going to do me any favors. Maybe we'll run one more lap just to see, because that was really a bad lap. I mean, I screwed it up from the beginning, so let's just at least get through the first turn. Right on top of them. Can't hang in here a little better this time. Try to cut out as much of the track as I can here. Squeeze every last. I have to carry a lot of speed to catch up. God, must hit that turn pretty well with that one. Quite been able to match it. Uh-oh, too far inside? That's bad right there. Car is pretty touchy. It's going to grip up quite a bit, which can give you some problems, which is going to give you, problems in a couple of the spots. God, just too slow again out of there. It's hard. I mean, it's kind of touchy in that one. I think you can drive it if you turn in the right spot. You can drive through it without letting off the gas on that. I just want to at least get it something clean out there. So, it's not terrible. 130.15. It's almost a full second behind the other one, but it can be driven down in there. It's just going to be a lot harder to get into the top 100, but certainly still a pretty good time there. Just to give you a look at where that would be on the leaderboard right now, 131.5 in the 225th range. I mean, not terrible. So it could be better. But let's go ahead and finish this beast up and go take a look at the tune and see what we've done here. And see if, maybe there's a couple spots in there that could still be improved on, getting an extra half a second out of there. I think it's pretty well dialed in. Had to play with it a fair amount just to kind of hold some of those areas. But there's always room for improvement, and there's things you're always going to want to do to kind of customize it to yourself as well. And I can point out a couple of things that you might be able to change up just a little bit on there. So we'll get through this here, through all of our lovely credit stuff. Yeah, I don't have this thing ranked up all the way. I guess I don't use Mazdas very often. Only up to level 16 on that. So you can see that last time we were driving against, that was a 92nd time, but we could do better than getting a second inside of there. You could see on a couple of those turns where I could, make up some of that time that I wasn't, that I got behind on that first turn a little bit, which wasn't terrible. And then at the bottom of the hill, really, I just never really in those couple of laps there didn't nail anything sufficient at the bottom of the hill. So anyway, let's back out of this. And let's back. I don't know why that shows just red. It does that sometimes. The car back. All right, go take a look at our tune. First off, let's just take a look. Just hop in here and just show you the numbers real quick. We're 4.5 on speed, 5.7 on handling, 6.2 on acceleration, and 5.2 on launch, 6.1 on braking. And let's go the other way. 143 horsepower. So I think that's base or less. I think it does have one performance part on it, but 143 horsepower, 117 foot-pounds of torque. Pretty light at 2,100 pounds, 51% of that to the front, and 1.8 liters of displacement. So, and you can see the other stats. I won't go into details on those. So, let's start over here. Oops, wrong spot. I'll start here in our engine conversion. I always like to start here. I typically do that first. So the only thing we'll have on here is our centrifugal supercharger. And as you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, this is just the best part you can put on a car in these lower classes. So it just gives you the most bang for your buck, great horsepower for what you have to spend PI wise for. In here we're just going to have the front bumper, and we're also going to have the Forza rear wing. So always going to have those. And one thing I meant to come in here and check is, do I have a, see, now here you go, I didn't see that. So I can get a few free pounds off of this, 4 pounds. So we're going to put the just one of those things you should always check out. You get 4 pounds there. You also got to check the drive line, some potential free weight there as well. Into our tires, we're going to go with full race tires. Alps Club is something you typically are going to run that. You're not getting high speeds, no big straightaways, so you want all the grip that you can get on that. We're going to be at about mid width on this, so we're running 18-inch there, or 225s there. I think that was 225s and 225s here. So we're running the same in the front and the back, and not full width. Doesn't really need all of that. Potentially you could make it a little wider, but you're losing a couple PI, and you'll see when I go through this, there just aren't a lot of opportunities to get some of that PI back. You might be able to get one back in the rims here. So we do have these Tracklight 2.0s in here for the rims. You can find something else that's comparable that keeps you at 400. So you feel like the looks of that better, you know, whatever. This is the same weight. So got those rims there. And then we're going to be full 18-inch wheels on the front and on the back. So we are a full width on the wheels front and back there. So let's move over into the drivetrain area. No clutch. We're going to have transmission here. We wanted the adjustable sport transmission on this one. The gears when they weren't adjustable, and this is also always interesting, you actually gain a PI there for one, and also I did have to make some adjustments there. It was not very good. I did try it with the stock transmission to start with in a different configuration, but it wasn't there. We do have the regular driveline. Do I have anything? Oh, look at that. Looks like at one point I played around with this and was there, but I can get another 7 pounds here, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. I always check for that. I didn't do that, so I'm gonna make that change here on the fly. You never know, that could be worth 1/10 of a second right there, like 10 spots on the leaderboard. So certainly double check that. Make sure you get as much weight out of it as you can. The driveline, that's really all it does, is just make it lighter, so it doesn't provide you with any other benefits, but sometimes it's free like it was there. So, and we're also gonna have that race differential in there. Coming over into the upgrade, or into the handling, I do have race brakes in here. I did play around with some other configurations, so I think you could do sport brakes here, and it actually would be okay. I get a little bit of a weight penalty on that, but you're not really getting any PI out of it. You know, if you look through here, I also tried stock brakes, and I hated them. Like I did, I think it was on the Mugen CRX that we went with the stock brakes, and they worked fine. I think it maybe has something to do with it being front wheel drive versus rear wheel drive, but it just threw this thing into a tizzy at the bottom of the hill, and so I ended up here. I did try here, and these were okay. So if you took the driveline back out and some of that other weight, you might be able to gain up to a PI or two that you could use elsewhere, but I don't know where you would be able to use it, to be honest with you. So so I did go with the race brakes so that I could have them adjustable. So we have the race springs. I also got race front. I don't go through all these, but race front, race rear anti-roll bars. We're going to be all the way, you know, all the way to the right on those. I do have the cage, and that's PI. Look at I get 3 PI difference. I know it adds 100 pounds, but we do make up for that in the weight here. So we're going full weight reduction on that. That gets us to our even 400, and there are no further performance parts that are on there. You could add weight in there and do more performance, but it's not worth it on this car. You want light going up that hill, light with your adjustable transmission is really what makes this a very competitive car on this track. So let's go ahead and take a look at our tune. It's going to save that off there. And here you go, 28 and 28. That was pretty good for my temperatures on there. I ended up at 4.4 on the driveline. I was kind of all over the board, but 4.4 really is what got me to max out 5th gear on that downhill. So that worked good. You know what's weird is the chart is nowhere near close to how this actually operates. Right? I mean, that's saying it's getting up to 140 mile an hour. I'm not hitting those types of speeds. I'm wrapped out in 5th gear at about 120 miles an hour going down that hill, or whatever it was. I didn't look specifically. In the alignment, I have less camber than what I would normally use, and this was for stability in the turns, and it was just a little too sticky, meaning it was almost too responsive when I had 3.5 and 3.0, and you can play around with it. Maybe it works better for you with a higher camber, but I actually ended up dropping this down to 2.3 and 1.8 because it was too responsive into the turns to the point where it would almost upset the back end a little bit. And you know, I did some tuning in some other areas and found out that actually for me lowering this camber down to 2.3 and 1.8 really helped stabilize the car and make it more consistent lap after lap. So let's take a look at our roll bars. 21 in the front, that was my starting position. In the rear, I started in about 17 or 18 and ended up bumping it down to 12. I had a lot of transitional oversteer, so that helped with that. If you're having transitional oversteer in the rear end, I was losing the rear end in the transition, so just kind of bump those anti-roll bars down in the rear, soften those up a little bit, and that helped. I did the same thing with the springs. Springs actually ended up pretty soft in the back, usually a bigger difference than I would normally have. And my ride height is pretty high, and to be honest, I could go even a little bit higher here, and you might consider that, and you'll feel it when you come off of some of those. The rumble strips on this track are pretty big, and that bankment up there, if you get onto the white on that last turn of the bankment, it's easy to upset the car up there. Raising the ride height really helped to stabilize that, but I still noticed a couple times where I could get it a little loose and could even go a little higher on that. So that's where my ride height's at there. Ended up at 10.7 and 9.6 on my front and rear rebound, and then 1.9 and 1.3 for the bump. Aero, took all the aero out of it, as I do with pretty much all the D-Class cars. My brakes opposite side of where I'm normally at, and maybe this is why the stock brakes upset it so much. Generally on 52, 53 over there, that did not work for me at all, and it was all about the brake point at the bottom of the hill and being able to trail brake into that turn just a little bit. It sent me sideways when I was at 52, 53. Came down to 48, it set up perfectly. So 48 and 140 is where I ended up, and then on my differential I ended up at 40 and 8. So that'll do it for that car. That'll give you another one that you can run on Alps Club. As you'll see as we go along, these are probably also going to be pretty good Prague short cars as well. We'll see when I get to there. But I'm going to wrap it up with that. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.